Hi, I'm Tyler Wilde here at PAX East with Adam Bromell talking about Astroneer. Adam, I just played a bit of it. I wandered around on the surface of a planet, deformed it. I was told I could use the deform tool to go all the way through the planet.
Yeah.
What would happen if I did that? Would I get crushed?
Well, right now you'd actually just end up spending in like zero gravity. But the intention would be that the further down in the planet that you go, the warmer it's going to get, the harder it's going to get down there. But as you get down further in the planet, you're going to find rarer minerals, rarer surprises, some wreckage. We call them discoveries. But yeah, the challenge is getting down to that center of the planet and how you're going to do that. In the build right now, it's a little easy, but as we build the game, it'll get hotter, it'll get a little bit more dense, it'll be a lot more desolate, it'll be harder to survive while you're down underground. And that's where things like the tether lines come in that I think I saw you playing a little bit with. And so yeah, right now you just kind of float around in zero gravity as you get down to the center of a planet.
Yeah, so I guess we should talk about the actual structure of the game. It's sort of this free-form survival astronaut simulation, right?
Yeah, so the overall, I guess, motivator as an astroneer is that you're out there collecting these minerals that humans need to survive back on Earth. That doesn't mean you can't kind of get rich along the way by finding these rare minerals that maybe Earth doesn't need, but you can use it to build better aerospace machinery. I think I saw you playing with some cranes a little bit there that we have in the build. So you'll be doing that there. But the whole idea is that it's a systemic game, so it's completely emergent. So you're going to be setting your goals yourself. If you want to be somebody that builds a giant base that is completely exploiting your planet to take all of its riches out, or if you want to specialize and be somebody that's really good at like spelunking or finding the rare minerals and sort of working with other players to sort of help them out, that we really want to give the players a bunch of avenues that they can go down so that they can define the kind of astroneer that they want to be.
Yeah, you mentioned other players. Can you tell us how the multiplayer works and the terrain deformation, in that space?
Yeah, so when we launched the end of summer, early fall, for Steam Early Access, the multiplayer will be 4-player co-op, so local servers. But as we grow that, we want to go into dedicated servers and verified servers so that we can grow the multiplayer experience from like 4 players to larger numbers like 12 and 16 and things like that we'll explore. Every server is going to be a solar system, so you'll have a sun, you'll have orbiting bodies around there, so planets, and then those planets will also have orbiting bodies around them as well, so moons and maybe a space station and things like that that'll orbit around it. And then for the deformation on multiplayer, there's no we don't do any co-op explicit moves in Astroneer. The idea behind co-op is it's just easier to do things with a friend or with help, right? So deformation works the same way, where that, if you have a big mineral lode that you just found, it's just easier for 2 people to come at it together, or maybe one person works on digging it up and the other person works on refining it down. So you can kind of come up with systems that way. It's completely up to you guys how you want to exploit those systems that we have to get the better minerals out of the game that way.
But it is essentially a cooperative game and not a competitive game. Right. So how do I stop people from accidentally screwing up my base if they're deforming things around me?
Well, like I said, I'll have to figure that one out a little bit later, but at launch you're going to be playing with friends, so hopefully they're not going to be rooting your stuff, and if they are, they're your friends, so I'll let you figure out how you're going to take care of that yourself. But yeah, we're not an adversarial game. We're all about cooperative gameplay. Just like you kind of see now in the aerospace industry and space exploration, everybody's kind of doing it together, right? All these agencies are coming together to get to Mars, to explore space, and we want to take that mindset and apply that to Astroneers as well. So all the Astroneers are in it together. They're not there to screw each other over or kill each other. We don't have any guns in the game. That's not to say that people won't figure out ways to exploit our systems to maybe do funky things like, deform a giant ramp that they can roll something down and have it go flying, but if they're doing that with our game, we're kind of okay with that because then they're having fun with it and they're going that way. But we're not going to explicitly put in things to hurt other players with or troll other players with that being the intention of that object.
Yeah, so how complex can these bases get? Like you said, we have a solar system with orbiting moons. Like, can I build a bridge to the moon?
Theoretically, you could definitely do that if you have enough dirt to do it. So you're gonna have to find because you don't just have unlimited dirt that you can add, right? So it's a give and take. You're gonna have to grab the dirt from somewhere and place it somewhere else. So if you're going to build basically a space elevator to the moon, you're also going to have a space elevator going down to the surface of the core to do that. The planets themselves range from that small moon that you started on to massive planets that we have. And then every planet is procedural, so we take all the biomes and we bring them together in a way that's really interesting where we don't have hard lines between the biomes. We actually blend them in really nicely, so it feels really natural. And I think that's why a lot of the planets feel the way they do right now, which has a really nice transition between the biomes that are there.
So I think you already said it, but we'll repeat it. Astroneer, when's it coming out, and where can we get it?
Astroneer is coming out on Steam Early Access at the end of summer, beginning of fall. We haven't quite nailed the date down. It'll be out for PC, fingers crossed on the Mac build, and we're also going to look at Linux as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much for talking to us, Adam.